Welcome to The Explainer. Today we are diving into a precise, highly technical breakdown of large language model inference optimization. If you ever wondered why serving these massive AI models is so incredibly challenging and why just throwing more hardware at the problem isn't the silver bullet, well, you're in the right place. We're going to get into the exact mechanisms that dictate how fast and how efficiently a model actually generates text.
Here's our quick roadmap for today. We'll start with the inference performance gap, move on to the KV cache bottleneck, explore paged-attention and virtual memory, see how continuous batching drives throughput, look at the experimental results, and finally, weigh the engineering trade-offs. Let's jump right in.
First up, the inference performance gap. We actually need to start by totally shattering a very common misconception about inference survey.
There's this pervasive idea out there that inference is entirely compute-bound, that to go faster, you just need more processing power, but for the decoding phase of generation, that's just not true. The gap between a naive inference setup and a highly optimized one is not some cute 10% bump. Depending on the workload, an optimized setup can literally deliver 10 to 20 times the throughput on the exact same hardware. Just let that sink in for a second. We're talking about a full order of magnitude difference in performance without swapping out a single physical GPU.
This explainer is entirely focused on where that staggering gap comes from. Because it turns out what you're actually short on during generation isn't compute power at all. It's memory bandwidth. And today we're unpacking the single, incredibly elegant memory management mechanism that closes almost all of that massive throughput gap.
That brings us to our second point, the KV cache bottleneck. To truly appreciate the solution, we've got to deeply understand the problem.
Imagine an LLM is auto-aggressively generating its 500th token. To do that, the attention layers have to look back at the keys and values of all 499 previous tokens. Now, if you don't have a cache, you are forced to recompute those key and value projections from scratch every single step. The computational cost would grow quadratically with your sequence length, which is just prohibitively expensive. So, the fix is the KV cache. You compute the key and value once, store them in a buffer, and just look them up the next time. Boom, you've turned a massive quadratic recompute problem into a simple linear lookup problem.
But here's the catch. Solving the compute problem creates an absolute monster of a memory problem. Traditional deep learning frameworks require tensors to be stored in contiguous memory. So naive implementations will just reserve one giant contiguous memory block for every single request, sized to the absolute maximum possible sequence length. If a user might generate up to 2048 tokens, the system locks up memory for 2048 tokens instantly, even if they only end up generating 10. This creates three devastating types of waste. You've got internal fragmentation, where reserved slots are just never used. You have external fragmentation, leaving weird, unusable gaps between differently sized requests. And cross-request memory isolation, meaning sequences cannot share memory, even if they're using the exact same system prompt.
The real-world impact of that naive allocation is just brutal. Because of those three fragmentation types, 60 to 80% of your incredibly expensive GPU's KV cache memory is completely wasted. It's just sitting there, reserved but totally empty. And if you're wasting 80% of your memory, you can only fit a tiny fraction of requests onto the GPU concurrently. Your batch size gets artificially capped, your GPU sits idle waiting for data, and your system's throughput just hits a brick wall.
So how do we fix it? Let's move into our third section, paged-attention and virtual memory.
The researchers behind the open-source vLLM framework realized something profound. KV cache management is, fundamentally, an old-school memory systems problem. So, instead of reserving a giant, contiguous block up front, a mechanism called paged attention manages KV cache exactly like a computer's operating system manages RAM, using virtual memory paging. It chops the cache down into small, fixed-size blocks or pages that typically hold about 16 tokens each. Think about the core mechanism here, the block table. A single request's logical blocks, say block 0, 1, and 2, don't have to sit next to each other anymore. They can map to completely scattered physical GPU blocks, like 81, 12, and 47. As a request generates text, it fills up a logical block. The second it needs a new one, the system just finds any available physical block anywhere on the GPU and updates the table. It's a brilliant layer of indirection mapping a contiguous logical sequence to a highly fragmented physical reality.
Because these blocks are allocated dynamically, literally just in time as the sequence grows, nothing is reserved up front. That means memory waste only ever happens in the very last, partially filled block of a sequence.
by adopting this decades-old OS paging trick, that devastating 80% memory waste completely collapses down to under 4%. Suddenly, you've unlocked vastly more usable memory on the exact same GPU hardware.
Now for Section 4, let's see how continuous batching actually drives throughput.
How exactly does saving memory translate to generating more tokens per second? The answer is continuous batching, made possible through iteration-level scheduling. In an older, naive system with static batching, you literally had to wait for the longest sequence in a batch to finish before you could let new requests in. Shorter requests would finish, and their GPU slots would just sit there, idle. But with PagedAttention managing memory dynamically, the absolute millisecond a request finishes its final token, its physical blocks are released right back to the pool. Crucially, a waiting request can be admitted mid-batch, on the very next generation step. The GPU stays constantly full and constantly busy.
Okay, on to Section 5. Let's ground all this theory in the actual numbers from the research paper.
When researchers evaluated the vLLM system equipped with PagedAttention, they stacked it up against state-of-the-art open-source baselines like Faster Transformer and Orca, and the results were completely definitive. vLLM delivered 2 to 4 times higher throughput at the exact same level of latency. Because they recovered all that fragmented, wasted memory, they could safely batch significantly more requests concurrently. That batch size multiplier is what directly translates into the 2 to 4x throughput gain.
Finally, Section 6. Like any rigorous computer science optimization, we have to look honestly at the engineering trade-offs.
Look, PagedAttention isn't just magic that makes the math faster. Actually, it's kind of the opposite. It's purely a memory allocation trick, and that indirection comes with a cost. Maintaining that block table adds overall system complexity and bookkeeping overhead. In fact, at the GPU kernel level, having to constantly look up scattered physical blocks actually makes the attention computation 20 to 26% slower compared to a perfectly optimized contiguous setup. You are intentionally trading a slight hit in raw computational latency for a massive gain in memory efficiency and batch size. Also, it's worth noting that if your specific workload has perfectly predictable uniform output lengths, meaning you wouldn't have suffered much fragmentation anyway, the advantages of PagedAttention will significantly narrow.
So as we wrap up, I want to leave you with this final thought. PagedAttention fundamentally improves how efficiently the GPU serves individual requests. The next explainer covers 3 complementary levers that reduce how many GPU calls you need to make in the first place. But honestly, it really begs the question. If adopting a 50-year-old operating system trick unlocked a 20x speed-up in AI inference, what other foundational computer science principles are just waiting out there to revolutionize the next generation of hardware? Thanks so much for joining me for this deep dive, and I'll see you in the next explainer.